and seeing a couple of daffodils that had just bloomed. And all I can say is I saw that and I was transfixed. I mean, I'm kind of Wordsworth, I guess. But for a moment, it seemed like eternity was there, that there was something completely transcendent. Time had changed itself suddenly. And I could just see this in a timeless way as forever.
Yeah.
And it was that was one of those moments where everything else faded away. And I saw that reality, which was a kind of eternal reality, in this simple physical flower.
Yeah. And it's not as if you're seeing an unreality. It's as if you're finally seeing reality.
Yes.
Seeing something as it is. It's like, if we could truly see, we could see that all the time. The world is like that all the time. It's just that our eyes are so clouded and our ears so muffled that it just very rarely breaks through. And
that's what people tell you about psychedelic drugs, is that they also manage to suspend temporarily, and not by act of will, but by chemical reactions, they actually sustain a moment where you can see more things. It's not like you're distorting your vision. It is as if you've taken off some sort of mesh in front of your eyes that allows you to see more and experience more. And in those experiences, people do sense something like the divine or something transcendent, put it that way.
Yeah. Have you done it?
Yes. And I have felt those things. I honestly, my friends make a lot of fun of me for this, but if they give me MDMA, I disappear off and think about the incarnation. I literally did a dance club once, at a rave club. I was given a little too much ecstasy. I disappeared off into as quiet as you get, dark corner. I sat on a stool and looked at the floor and just contemplated what it meant to be Jesus as God and man. And it went on for a long time. And it's as if it broke down the barriers of the things that I really was grappling with underneath. I had an epic experience on magic mushrooms once where I literally, and I thought about this in your book actually, because it just felt to me I was having an argument in my soul between Jesus and Nietzsche. I know this sounds incredibly pretentious, but having been fascinated by Nietzsche, and obviously it struck me that there was something real in the struggle, and that I had to resolve it somehow. And I did. In my heart, I trusted Jesus over Nietzsche. You, of course, and this is an interesting part of the book, you kind of like Nietzsche. And you think of Nietzsche as a sort of entryway to faith in a way.
Yeah, I do like him. I mean, Nietzsche was what drove me away from faith when I was in college, but I sort of read him shallowly, I think. But I think Nietzsche's on the side of the angels. He's tearing away false gods, and the God that I had at that time needed to be torn away, and he did the job, scoured it away.
Can you unpack that a little bit more? What part of what God did he scramble?
The God that you can speak about with propositions, the God that is at the head of all religions, the God that is somehow translated from that experience of those flowers into doctrine.
Yeah.
That God. But Nietzsche spoke about, I mean, everything we've said here about joy and suffering is from Nietzsche. I mean, he said these very things. He spoke about tragic joy, and he spoke about no creativity exists without suffering. And I think you understood completely what we were saying about those experiences leading to existential clarity and existential excess. He wouldn't have ever attributed a God in that excess, but he would have said that it was an absolute reality, that you were getting to some absolute reality, and that was the nature of joy. And there was a notion of eternity in Nietzsche. He wasn't by any means a materialist. There was a notion
eternal return.
Yeah. And he thought that joy was an indication of eternity, that um, that it suggested that some sort of eternal state